So this is the second part of the lesson or lecture for today. So next, I'm going to show you a demo on Stateful widget. Okay. So in this demo, we are going to do an application, something like this, whereby the color of this text hello world will change accordingly depending on whether the user presses the red button or the blue button. If the user presses the red button, this text hello world will change to red. So here and also besides the color, we also another feature for this application is the user can also resize the font size by sliding this slider. So by having these two features here, we want to manage two states, which are the color and the size of the text. So those are our states. So let's get started. So before we start, okay, you need to prepare, as usual, you need to prepare your project. So I already actually did this project before. I have done up until the project complete, and then today I was updating the GitHub repo by adding 2 more commits, including it is more on refactoring the code. Okay, let me show you first how to get started, to get prepared the starter code. You can follow from this slide. Okay, in this slide you need to use git bash, okay, from start. But I'm going to use slightly different, a little bit different from here. Okay, so in that case, okay, we want to clone it. Our goal is basically to clone the project from this GitHub repository. So let me go to my clean screen. Yeah, this one. Okay. So I'm going to do my work here. Okay, and then I can open git bash from here. Okay. Okay, by the way, I forgot. I think I need to open a tools to capture my keystroke, so that you know what actually I am pressing on my keyboard. Okay, let me check. Okay, I think I have this software. Okay, let me check. Yeah, so whenever I press the key, it shows up here. Okay, so if you want to check out what keys I was pressing, then you can look at this corner. Okay, then okay, I want to open this git bash here. Oh, actually I can. Okay, I need to create a new one. Let's say I'm going to oh, I don't have to do that actually. So right click, and then git bash, then okay, then I need to go to my GitHub. Yeah, this one. You can go to this. Okay, GitHub address, Gmail, and then the project that we want to use today is this one, Stateful widget text. I click on that. Okay, as you can see, actually the project is already completed. Okay, you can check on the commit that I have done. Okay, just today I have pushed another two commits, which is to refactor with meta and refactor buttons to a widget class, because in your exercise I also ask you to do this. So I gave you an example how to do that, how to do refactoring. Okay, now going back to this Stateful widget. Okay, you can copy from here, download zip. I don't like to do that. I'm not sure whether if you download zip, what you get is basically just a regular zip file. There is no git enabled inside your repo. I believe so. So if you want to maintain the repository, the git, meaning that the folder you downloaded, the folder that you will download, keep maintaining the git. So it's better to use clone. Okay, so we go here. I just need to copy. Can I copy this? Copy, just copy. Proceed. Then okay, I go here and we git clone, and then from this address, and then I think that's it. You don't have to provide the directory. Okay, let's check. Is it okay? Okay, yeah, it's supposed to be okay now. As you can see here now, because we are outside of the folder, okay, so we don't see any branch, okay, because the branch, I need to go inside the folder. Now as you can see here, we are actually inside the folder, and then we are currently in the master branch. Then let's check out what we have. As you can see here, we have 8 I think 8 commits. The last one that I push today, this one, okay, these two basically. The first one is how to refactor to method. The second one is how to refactor to buttons, how to refactor buttons to a widget class. Okay, this is actually a completed project, but since we are going to do demo here, so we are going to do this. We are going to start from this commit, okay, initial project. So we check out to the commit. Okay, you simply select here by left click and hold, and then you release. Now you don't have to press Ctrl+C because it is automatically copied to the clipboard. Then in order to paste here, just shift insert. Okay, we also need to create a branch, okay, because when you check out without a branch, what happens, Git still allows you to enter to the commit. However, it create a copy and then detach it from the master branch. So here I'm going to use create a new branch, whatever you like. Okay, I prefer to call it like playground. You can do it in this way, okay, but if it doesn't work, so you try, you do it. Basically this one actually we are combining two commands into a single line. Okay, we can do it. We check out first, done. Okay, so when we after that we create a branch, okay, we call it playground. Okay, and now when we git log, okay, see now we are currently in the playground. Okay, so we are now we have prepared the folder, and then next we are going to start doing the coding. So I need to open VS Code. You can use several ways. Right click from here, okay, or if you want to I'm not sure whether this is correct. Okay, you can run from here, code, and then dot then you get this one. Okay, so there is a new version of VS Code. Okay, later, and then it's a good idea to to upscape. Okay, update the package. Okay, what is it? Okay, oh, I think it's still loading. Yeah, no, I don't have to, it is automatically done. And then also after this, it's a good idea if you reset the project by it's not necessarily important to do so. So you can flutter clean project. You can do it from here, or you can also do it from here, flutter clean. Okay, so after that, as usual, you need to run an emulator. Okay, an emulator, or maybe you want to run directly from your device. Okay, but I'm not going to do that because it will take sometimes for the emulator to run. So actually I have run an emulator for the project before starting this video. So then I already have basically in the screen, yeah, this one. Yeah, so in that case I just need to close this. Okay, and also this thing, and yeah, okay, so then I can get started with this. Okay, we are going to continue. This is actually already done, already inside the first commit. As you notice here, okay, I open my bash directly from the terminal of VS Code. Okay, by default you only have PowerShell, but you can specify bash terminal here. Okay, maybe you can find out on YouTube how to do so. Okay, it's not our concern for this moment. Okay, now the first thing we need to do, okay, maybe okay, what I want to do here. Oh, by the way, let's take a look at our slide. Yeah, assuming we finish this, Okay, next we are going to look at to create stateless home screen. Yeah, I think we have done the initial project has done for us up to this point. Then next we are going to do the next to convert stateful. Okay. By the way, let's review this. Okay, we have here is this application. All widgets inside this application are stateless. So we have material app, and then the main page for the material app is a widget called home, which is a stateless. Okay. Oh, by the way, I don't think so. I have put branch for this, so let me check. Git branch. Oh, I'm not in playground, so okay. See, there is no, just now I was checking out on the first commit, but I didn't create any branch, so it's the time to create branch here. Branch maybe demo. Okay, we call it demo. Git branch. Yeah, now I'm currently at mi inside head demo. Yeah, git yeah, playground. I think I need to git check out demo. Oh, now okay, it stuck here. Why? Okay, never mind. I just need to close this and then open a new one. Is it? Yeah, okay. For now, it doesn't execute. Okay, let's go back to the code. Okay, what I want to do next is just to disable this debug. Okay, which is debug show and then false. Okay, hot restart by pressing Ctrl Shift F5. Okay, please be noted my PC is not that really powerful, so it will take some time to refresh. Okay, we have our widget here. Okay, but all the widgets are stateless, so if you want to change the size, okay, it will not take any effect. Why? Because stateless widget get boiled only once, which is in the beginning of the running or once you hot restart. Okay, so basically what we want to achieve later is about changing this color and the size. So let's play around with it. I can play around with the text here. Okay, so what we want to do, we configure all the appearance from style, okay, which is text style. Take this one, and then we want to set size, font size, basically let's put 50, and then color, yeah, color, let's call it color pink. Okay, I think that's it. Let's refresh. Okay, so now we are waiting for this screen to get refresh. Okay, this is basically what we want to achieve. Okay, we update this value, and then we reflect, and then we want the app to reflect on the screen. But just now what I was doing is basically I changed the state and manually, okay, hard coded, okay, and then I need to press hot restart, because the idea for refreshing your UI is you want to let your app to refresh, or in Flutter to rebuild. For stateless widget, the only way to do it is by rerun the program, okay, or you can use hot restart. If you use hot reload, in this case it doesn't work, because a hot reload will take an effect during the execution of the program. Yeah, both are actually during the execution, but for hot restart, it start from, it seems like you start from fresh run. Okay, so that's why you can update the value or the UI for stateless widget by pressing hot restart. But if you change the value here with any value and then you press hot reload, I don't think so it can work. Okay, of course I'm not going to show you that here, so if you want to try it out, you try it out on your own. Okay, now, so the idea here is we want to change the color and the font size of this text. Okay, but so actually you just need to play around with this attribute. Okay, font size and the color. So instead of using fixed value, it's a good idea to put them into a variable. So we don't want to waste our time to discuss some of the things. So let's go straight to the point. Okay, what we want to do next is to provide capability for this application to mutate. Okay, that like if the user presses red, then the color change to red, and then if blue, then the color change to blue. Okay, so in order to do that, you need a mechanism to hold the current state of the color. So as we learned from last video, the only way to do that is by using Stateful widget, because stateful widget, it is associated with a state object, whereby the state object can be used to store states. In this case, we want to store the text color and the text font. Okay. And then the next question is about now, where should we put the stateful widget? Okay. You might be thinking, put on the text hello world. Okay. Because only hello world needs to be updated, whereas for red and blue buttons, they are fixed throughout the application, the running of the application. Okay, but if we let hello world to be stateful, we will be facing some problems. Okay, but for now I'm not going to discuss it. Later slide, we are going to discuss it later on the this coming slide. So but what I'm going to do next is basically to convert the entire home screen from stateless to stateful. Okay, as usual, you don't find the plugin, you simply want to use, okay, to use features provided or suggested by the plugin. So for example, here it gives us a suggestion here, show fixes, here it suggests to convert this to stateful. So I'm choosing this now. Automatically this the widget has been turned into stateful. As you can see here, stateful widget is basically just regular stat widget, but besides the widget, it has been associated with state. Okay, this is the state. Okay, so that's why we have two classes. One is the widget itself, and the other one is the stat. Okay, then now what we want to do next is the stat is actually provide us sort of like a wrapper, whereby later on you can put whatever you want to put that reflect to your needs. Okay, in this example, we are going to mutate the color and the font size. So that's why in state we put colors state and also the size. So where should we do that? Okay, we do it here. Okay, which is the size. I can use size as double, which is, let's call this, I prefer to use local variable size. Okay, and then we provide a default value. Let's call it something like 20.0. that one is for font size, and for color we are going to use color here, and then let's say the color by default is what you want to do for this guy. Okay, maybe we call it black. Okay, so this is the state that we plan to mutate, okay, in this application. Now, as you can see here, home and state, they are actually different classes. So that means homestead, this guy is outside from the class home. Okay, so we need a way how to link them. So this actually create link for regarding the state, but we also need to provide a way how to initialize this value, size and the color. Okay, by the way, okay, we can consume this. So we put here, where is it? Just now this one. Okay, instead of using 50, now we can use size. The same goes to color. Okay, so when we run this, we're supposed to get the same result with different color. Okay, done. Let's wait for the UI to reflect. Okay, now it already reflects. So now we already there. We're almost there, whereby we replaced fixed value with variables. Now okay, let's do the color first. Okay, here, this one. So basically this one, what we are going to do is that this button, okay, you can see this is the on press. What we are going to do, we need to bind a callback to this button. Let's say we do it for the red button first. When we click on the red button, we are going to do something like we want to change the color, which is we want to do it something like this: color equal to colors.red, right? Okay, then let's run and then let's see what happened. Okay, okay, as you can see here, the color supposed to be changed to red. Okay, what happened behind the scene, the color here has changed to red. However, because we don't manage the state here, we don't reflect, we don't do any state management for this particular color, so the state has changed. However, we don't reflect on the UI, because if you can recall from my previous lecture video, in order to reflect the UI, you need to rebuild the screen, the UI tree or widget tree. So for Stateful widget, in order to do that, you need to signal, you need to notify this Stateful widget. Okay, how? By invoking setState. Okay, so let me show you. It's not really common to do in this way. So setState, it requires a what we call that, it requires a callback. Okay, let me, what happened here, setState about, okay, it's better to use setState. Okay, this one. Okay, now just an empty setState. Okay. Okay, now let's try to run this. Okay, then it's supposed to be because just now initial value is black. Yeah, let's try to. Now the color has changed to red. Why? Because this part, yeah, this part only change the state, which is what happened behind the scene, which is in the memory. And then by placing or by invoking setState, it will signal or it will notify the widget that associated with its state to get rebuilt. Okay. Okay, so it means that you are not simply changing the UI by changing the state. You need to notify the widget to get rebuilt. So in Stateful widget, we do it by setState. So here, setState is actually the key player for getting the widget rebuilt. Okay, but this is actually not, it's not really, it's not common to do something like this. So actually we can simplify this line. Okay, I think I need to make it larger. Okay, I can simplify this line because the purpose of having this callback is basically to leverage this part and then we put inside here. So we don't have to write so many lines here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I just grab this and then I put inside here. And then let me try to format. Okay, still it's not really nice here because still you have so many brackets. Okay, so as you already know, there's several shortcuts you can do in Flutter or in Dart, so something like this. So this one actually we can if you have only a single line, and then you can simply remove that, and then this one, no, not that one, or this one, you need this, but yeah, this one. Do we have anything else? Yeah, this one. Yeah, okay, so the same goes to this. We can also change this into what we call fed arrow syntax. Okay, expected, and then something like that, and then this is the short form. I hope you can notice the way I rewrite the line just now. Okay, then I can change this, can copy this for the blue button, so I can put here the blue button. Okay, I simply change to blue. Okay, then try to run it again. I think I need to change the color, make it a little bit larger. Let's put 40. Run it again. Okay, still waiting. Okay, now let's try this out. When I press red, it turns to red and blue. Okay, so it seems our state management by using Stateful widget is working here. Now, okay, this I think this one is done. Next is about, okay, I think I can we can further refactor this. Okay, instead of writing something like this. Okay, let's change this into another kind of writing. So instead of, because the idea here is that what we did in for each of the on-press callback, we do two things here. First, we update the state accordingly. If we press red button, then the color turn to colors red. Then we also invoke setState. Why? Because we want the home page, which is the Stateful widget, to get rebuilt. Once the home page gets rebuilt, it also rebuild its children, because home page is the parent of the parent widget. Okay, I can refactor this to be, it serves the same purpose, but it's a more I think quote unquote more elegant way in terms of syntax. So we know that this is a private, right? So if I want to create make it a public, then I can use get a getter here, then which is okay. For now, let's do it only for color. So color is basically we can do it something like this, okay, and then return, right, something like that. Okay, return, what is that, return, yeah. Or we can use fed arrow, which is simply the same. Okay, to make it more meaningful, you provide color. Okay. Otherwise that will infer automatically, okay, at runtime. And then we also okay, which is set, and then for the set for color, and then we provide, which is the color. In fact, it's not necessarily to provide the type here, but it's a good practice to use strongly typed syntax. And then what we want to do here, set the color with value. Okay, but oh, it's not value, I think. Okay, about wrapping field in getters. What do you mean? Okay, for now let's forget about this. Okay, let remove annotation. Or it doesn't want us to, same goes to this. Okay, never mind. Okay, here we simply write as just regular setter, whereby to mutate a state, which is in this case is color. But keep in mind, we also need to rebuild or to signal the widget to get rebuilt. So besides changing the state, we also need to call setState. So we can do the same like just now. We can use the long syntax, okay, or you can simply use this one, okay, which is this one. Okay, so setState, okay, expected. Okay, this is the same. We change the color, but here the color not color rate, but the color is value. Okay, done. Now since we have changed here, then we can simply use here. Okay, we simply change this, use it as a regular variable, which is color. It's a center, and then we specify with color rate, and then here is supposed to be comma. Okay, and then where did I do wrong here? Color, yeah, because we have parenthesis. Now the same goes to for the blue one. Blue, done. Okay, running it again. Okay, okay, now we are back. Okay, so we managed to do up to this point. Okay, which is okay, I think I need to change the location of this keystroke, the keystroke to this area. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, it's supposed to be there. Now my keystroke is here. Okay, then what else we need to do after this? Let's take a look. We have converted home screen to Stateful widget. Okay, we're done up to this point. Okay, to set state. Okay, okay. Just now I talk about where should we put our Stateful widget. Okay, so we need to consider two things. Okay, actually one important thing: who are going to access or who are going to reference the state. Okay, whether you get or you set. Okay, so we need to determine which part of the code is going to use the state. So that means to consume or to get the current value of the state. So for example, in our case, because we want to change the color, so in our code we are using text style, so it happens inside text widget. So that means this is one of the text will be the consumer for the color. Okay, and then next is determine which part of the code that is going to update the state. So in our case is the these two. this will be changing the text color. Okay, so since we are not using imperative style, that means we are not directly changing to the widget from button to text. No, we use intermediate state here, which is held by the home page. Okay, then so theoretically the text widget should be stateful because UI update should be done only on it, right? Because we change the text color, it is on hello world. We change the text size, it's also only on hello world. It seems like the text widget should be the stateful one. Okay. Something, however, for the getter it's okay, meaning that the text widget can get the state because it is directly associated to the state. But the problem is for the setter, okay, which is in this case our these two buttons. Okay, these two buttons, they cannot see the state here. Okay, why? Because text is outside from radio of the buttons. Okay, unlike the implementation we did just now, we put the state on top. Okay, and then basically all the these things is where, if you refer to double check with the code, they are actually in the same class. So that means everyone can get access to the state. Okay, so this is a common technique basically used in Flutter to deal with a stateful widget, and then this is called lift state up, because we lift the state from here, and then what in this case one level up, okay, to the parent. Basically we the way you want to deal with this, actually you try to find the common ancestor between the getter and also the setters. Okay, so in this case is the home page. Okay, so in this case the home page is the place that the best place to put the state. And then again, when it gets rebuilt, okay, by setState coming from these two buttons, because it is a parent, when it gets rebuilt, it also rebuild this text, because this is the part that we want to update, okay, on the UI. Okay, just now I also show you, for convenience we use setter for writing a more elegant, more quote-unquote more elegant syntax. Okay. And okay, next let's move on to font size. In this case, I think we have done for creating the size. Okay, this one we have provided the attribute to hold font size. We have done this, but we didn't do this yet for setter and getter. So we can do the same. Okay, okay, let's try to do setter and getter for size. So what we can do, we simply copy this. Okay, how to copy that? Because I want to copy both, I select and then shift alternate arrow key down. Okay, then I can change here, which is this case is a double, and then since we have so many color here, we have two colors here, what I can do, select this and then Control D. Okay, Control D. Now I have multiple cursor. Here I'm going to change to, let's call it size. Done. Okay. So set state. Here we also have, I forgot to select this, size. Okay, done. Okay, the size is double, but oh, the size, the getter size is double, which isn't signable. Oh, color. Okay, why is it? Let's, I think it doesn't, it has not reflect yet. Okay, never mind for now. Double, and then okay, let me try to comment out first. Okay, never mind for now. Let's close this. I'm not sure what is going on here with this. For the size, it's supposed to be okay. Okay, now. Oh, okay, and then I open it again. Oh, this one. Yeah, I know that because of this one, which is double. Okay, done. Okay, I just format it. Okay, now I think we need to add slider. Okay, we done up to this point. Okay, to add slider, basically this one we use from the scaffold, we use the bottom sheet, okay, and then put size box and then a slider. Okay, then where is our scaffold? I can put here, I can work from here. Okay, P, bottom sheet, and then we use size box just to make sure. Okay, in fact we can directly, let's write slider directly first. Okay, what you have with slider? Okay, remember slider, you need to specify the value, which is the value for this guy is we got from font size. Let's say the minimum is, let's put maybe let's put 5.0. Maximum is 50. Okay, as you can see here, it Flutter complaints is no, I think, yeah, we need to specify because this is required. So I can do here, okay, I can format it first. I can do something like okay, control and then on change. So on change basically is the handler. If you slide, every time you slide the slider, the on change will be triggered. So for now, let's put it needs an handler, so you need to specify a function here. Okay, and then this function must have the parameter value. Let's double check what is the parameter for this guy. Okay, as you can see, okay, is it I think that there is a value, one parameter. It requires a parameter here, the current value. Okay, this is actually okay. So what we want to do here, it's supposed to be the same. We just need to call size equal to this value. Okay, remember when we do mutation for the particular state, besides mutate the state, you also need to call setState so that the widget will get rebuilt. But this one we do not write explicitly here. Why? Because we have leveraged the setState in the setter. Okay, we're done with that. Okay, let's try to compile. Let's try to compile this. See, as you can see, I think it's working, but the position is quite off. So let's see what I've done. Okay, because I cannot recall the size. So we need to use a size box. Okay, and then specify the height at only 100. Okay. Okay, so where is it? I think just now we are here, right? Okay, now we want to wrap this, make it inside a size box. So what we want to do here is we refactor. Okay, so I'm pressing Control dot. Okay, now we want to wrap with widget, and I change this to size. Okay, size box. Okay, that's it. And then of course I need to specify for this case, the height. What is the height now? 100. Let's put 100. Okay. Okay, let's wait. Okay, now the blue one is working, red is working. What is? The size is also working. So in terms of functionality, this application we have completed for this application, but we still need to do something else. In this case, we want to do refactoring. Okay, I'm going to refactor. I will show you by using method, and then the next, okay, we are going to refactor this by using method, and then this two button by using class. Okay, so where is our, okay, here, this one. Okay, we can refactor this. We put, in this case, you can use method, but be careful to use function, because when you use function, now you bring the code outside of the class, and then when you create a function for this size box, now you cannot access size, right? Because size is inside the home state. If you refactor this into a function, okay, now you no longer have this size. Okay, but for now, I'm going to show you there is a problem. There is a solution for that. Okay, the way you want to do it, you might be thinking you want to use passing parameter. Okay, and then in this case, because you want to change size, it's supposed to be passing by reference, right? But please be noted in Dart, it seems it doesn't support for parameter passing or parameter passing by reference for scalar value like size. Okay, so we'll see that later. But for now, to simplify our task here, because we just want to refactor, instead of using function, I'm going to refactor into method. That means I take out the code but still inside the same class. Okay, so I can do something like, where is it? This one, right? Okay, so I go here, control dot. Okay, and then I choose extract to method. Okay, this is the convention I use. Build size box, I just put build size box. Okay, now we're done with that. Okay, so it's supposed to be something like this. You don't have to do anything for this case because we don't reuse this function, because in our case we only have one slider. But let's say you have another slider, more than one. So and then what you want to do, you need to pass parameter. Okay, so for example, like let's say we have this slider. Okay, let me make this slider to make it more general, make it more generic. So here, as you can see here, there's oh I forgot, it's supposed to be we actually need to yeah, we need to I don't think so, we need to further refactor this, because in this case we just okay we only have one slider. But I think I don't want to waste our time here. Okay, hopefully in the next refactoring I can show you what I mean. Okay, by the way, let's try to run it first to make sure everything's working before we proceed to the next refactoring. Okay, it's still working. Then let me check. Oh, but this one is not working. Okay, why is that? Okay, yeah, this is not working. Why is that? This one is working. Oh, it's working basically. Okay, then next I want to refactor this. Okay, you can refactor this into widget, into method, and then you something like this, but then you pass parameter here, like for the because if you go to this code, they are actually following the same pattern, right? On press, label, background. The only things they are different is basically the actual value. Like here is color. Okay, so that means, okay, if you want to refactor this into a method, So you will be doing something like this, but then this method must accept parameter, whereby that parameters mainly meant for allowing the function to be more generic. So meaning that you just create one function, but it can be used for the red button, blue button, and so on. Okay, but we are not going to do that for this, because I want to show you something else here. What I'm going to do next is actually what if we refactor this and then take out the code outside of the class. Okay, it can happen in two situations. One, you refactor into function because function is outside of the class, and the other one is to refactor to a widget class, which is also another class. So the rule of thumb, I normally use which one should I use, function or class or method. Okay, so the difference between refactoring to class versus function and method is that if you refactor to a class, it also provides us the build method, okay, whereby you don't have that when you refactor to function. And then for the build method, it comes with parameter context, build context. So normally what I did, if I in this situation, I need to look at whether I need to use context, right? I need to use context. If I need to use context, then I have no option. I need to use the class. So when is the situation you need to use context? So for example, like if you want to use normally .off, like if you want to open drawer, a snack bar, okay, or you want to refer to theme.off, and then this .off normally requires a context. So if you in that situation, that means you need to use refactoring that allowing you to use context. So the only way to do that is by refactoring to widget class. Okay, so next in our example, actually to refactor red button and blue button for our case here, just to make it more generic, the best option here is to refactor to method. Why? First, we don't need to use context in our code later, right? So that means you don't have to use class. Then secondly, when we refactor into method, the method still inside the class. So that means the class can have the method can have access to a state without having you to pass data through parameter. So something, because we need the state, something like color, right? Color you need to use inside the code. Okay, so that is why I mentioned that for this case, red and blue button, the best option to refactor this is by refactoring to method. But for next refactoring, I'm going to use refactor to class, because I want to show you how to deal state that outside from the stateful widget. Okay, so let's do that. So as you can see here, I can refactor this into class. So by control dot, and then I'm going to refactor to widget, which is a widget class. Okay, and then I'm going to call this, let me call this sort of like my only button, or simply button. Okay, done. Refactor anyway. Okay, right to color cannot be extracted. I think because it is a setter and getter, so just refactor it anyway. Okay, done. Now, so this is only for, we are working only first on the red button. Okay, now, so the Flutter extension give us some template here. If you are not, I normally just delete this one. Why? Because I don't for this kind of application I don't use key. Okay, okay, now this is our button. Okay, as you can see here, now we got error because it doesn't know about color, and then, but this one is okay because it's coming from the standard type of Flutter. Okay, now we are going to make this button more generic, because later on we want to use the same button to be used by red button and also blue button, right? So but here it fixed to red. So the way you want to do it, turn this into, okay, turn this into variable. It's not variable, just attribute. Okay, so I prefer to use local. Okay, oh, I can use color. Okay, never mind. Less color. Okay, it doesn't recognize. Then this color, okay, is coming from the state. You got error. Okay, so for now, okay, so where to get this color? Okay, this color comes from the property of this this widget. As you can see here, by default it is a stateless. Okay, I hope you can recall, in Flutter all widgets are immutable, right? That means you can only set only once. So that's why in Flutter we use final here, and then which is to indicate what is that, color. Okay, why? Because we only specify this on the attribute only once, which means during the creation. So as we have discussed in the previous lecture video, the way Flutter deal with this, actually it rebuild the widget when the state has changed, and then the newly created widget will replace the old one. That's why for each widget they only they can only be set once. So that's why it is safe to use final here. But we got error because final, you must specify the value. Okay, you must specify because you need to specify, okay, when you specify the difference between constant is the compile time, but final, it can be specified during runtime. But once you specify, that's it, you cannot change the value. So to the workaround for this, actually you can do it something like this. Colors red, but again this is fixed to only red button. What we want to do is, actually we want to specify this so that here later on we can use something like this. Okay, I want to use here the first one. Okay, we do something like color. We want it to do something like colors red. Okay, to allow us to specify the attribute from outside. So how to achieve that? That's where the constructor comes in. Okay, we do it here, which is button. Okay, again, I'm going to use shortcut. Okay, I hope you can recall my previous dot slide. Okay, this is the color, right? Which is it is specified first for the first time here. Where is it? And here. Okay, but here we want to pass parameter by using name parameters, but we didn't specify here. So the way you want to do it is curly braces. Okay, curly braces, and then why I got this error? Name optional parameter can't start with an underscore. Oh, okay. Okay, then I think we need to change this into no private. No private. The same goes to no private. Okay. But as you can see here, I'm afraid it will conflict. Okay, but never mind for this one, because later on we are going to change this. Okay, what else? Okay, as you can see here, the color is actually to specify this color, but how about the label? Okay, oh, this is not supposed to be, this is supposed to be, the text supposed to be, we call it, maybe you want to call it title, right? So the same, we are going to use title here, and again, whereby title, it can be red, red, or blue, blue. Then this title. Okay, now this is supposed to be title, and the background is also color. Okay. Okay, I think I need to comment out this first, okay, but it still needs to have required. So what I want, okay, to make things easy for us, okay, just to satisfy the compiler. Okay, it's supposed to be something like this. Okay, but in our code later on, we want to do something like this to specify color, whereby color here is from the state. But as I already mentioned just now, since we are refactoring to a widget, now this button becomes an outsider to the class home state, and then it is no longer able to access color, because color from the home state. So how to do that? So it seems it doesn't recognize color here. The color what we have here is color from this button. Okay. Okay. I think before we start, let's try to compile it. Okay. Oh, but I think I got I got error. Might be, and I think it cannot run because I didn't specify. We are back for the second time after just now my emulator got crashed. So just now we have refactored our code for a button by creating a new class called button. So this is the result, and then I already put code here to utilize the class. So when we try out, okay, the slider is functioning as usual, nothing change. However, for the button, okay, it doesn't work anymore, because when we look at our implementation here, okay, for the on press, we only put an empty code. Okay, what we want to achieve here is something like this. We want to specify color with the color of this button, okay, specified here. Now the problem, okay, this one is supposed to be something like, we want to do something like this, whereby this color is coming from the state. This one, we want to use color here, this color, okay, and then the right color is from this guy. Okay, so the problem here is that this one, okay, this is the attribute from the home state, because in this class button, it is no longer able to reference color, because button is outside of the class home state, right? Color is coming from here. So the workaround for this scenario is basically we can use parameter passing. Okay, parameter passing. Okay, I think it's quite confusing if I am using something like this, okay, because they are the same but they serve different purpose. This is attribute from button, and then this is attribute from home state. Okay, so what I can do here to make things okay, let me call this, I put underscore here, and I also put underscore here. It's supposed to be something like this. Yeah, this is underscore, and then this is just warning, and then I can use underscore. It's just to satisfy the name, because we don't want to use conflict name color. Then just now if I put underscore in front, it means private, and then this syntax doesn't accept that. So the same goes to this. I also need to change here with the new name for, okay, this is just we just renaming the variable. So let me compile it again before I proceed. Okay, now it is the same, okay? We still get the same result. Our target is basically we want to do something like this, okay? When the user has pressed the key or the button, and then we want to change the color depending on the button itself, okay? Because this button we assign with color from this book, okay? So the problem now is about color, because color is coming from homestead, this one. if you want to use this. So to walk around, you might be thinking, okay, because this guy is coming from homestead, then we send here, we send as a parameter. Okay. Send as parameter. Let's say you might be thinking we send as something like link color. That means this color we want to link to the state. Okay. So and then we specify here this link color. Oh yeah, neighbor. I don't have to. I can use color, which is I think, yeah, let's see, we use color, and then that means this color is coming from the state color. Okay, now final color, and then what we have here is this color. This color is supposed to be okay, and then yeah, on press, and then comma, say comma. Okay, color can be used. Now the problem with this, now we have another problem. Okay, because this color, okay, this color is set as final. Maybe if you try to change to var, so it's supposed to be solving the problem regarding the syntax, but let's try to run it again. Oh, I forgot, I need to do something here. I need to specify the color for this button. Okay, color, and this color is from color, which is this color, this color, this color coming from, and then the left side is color, the name, the parameter name. Okay, so this one I also bring this. This is actually on we are trying to satisfy the compiler so that it recognizes the variable, but of course this is not actually the solution, but I just want to show you the problem. Let me refresh again, not this one basically. Okay, why is still something like that? I think it's better to change the name to something else. In color, okay, and link color. Here we are going to, oh, I forgot. No. I did a silly mistake here, so never mind. Let's revert to the original. Okay, what I supposed to to be doing here is basically this one supposed to be, this is a callback. Okay, so I write a callback here. Okay, let's waiting for the emulator to show up. Okay, now we solved the problem, but let's try this out. See, it still doesn't affect. Why? Because this is the problem. Okay, here we send color, okay, as passing by value. So and then we store it into this dedicated attribute for button. Okay, so this is actually is not the solution for this problem, because the issue for this is it is because Dart by default doesn't support passing by reference for scalar value. Okay, like here color is basically integer value, so Dart doesn't support that. Okay, so to work around on this issue, like some other languages, okay, to pass by reference to a function, normally you are going to use pointers, right? So in Dart, when you create an object, it is basically dynamic creation, dynamic allocated. Okay, so that means it's a pointer. So if you want to pass a pointer or an address to a function, so you want to do it by passing an object, because object, when you pass an object to function, it is basically passing a dynamic allocated object. So to elaborate what I mean here, when you create an object in Dart, so something like bar, assuming we have class button, right, and then you have b button, and then blah blah blah, okay, whatever is assuming it's not b, let's call it like object, which is obj, and then assuming we have class the object, we are creating something like this. This is similar to new the object. So if you can recall from Java or C++, it is the same. Okay, in C++, when you create an object, literally just the class constructor, basically you are using static allocated memory. So whenever you pass this object to function, it is basically passed by value. However, if you are using new, that means you are creating dynamically the object. So that means the object itself is here the obj here is a pointer. So in Dart, you write new or not, it is the same. So it means if you write something like this, it means still new the object. So that means whenever you create an object in that, it is always a pointer. So this is a good thing whereby we can manipulate this, because that doesn't support passing by reference for Scala. So to work around, we wrap the Scala value into an object. And then luckily enough, we already have the object here, which is the state itself. Okay, the home state is an object, right? So the data that we want to pass to another class is color and size. So the main idea here is that if instead of sending color or size to another function, we want to send them inside an object. So in our case, instead of sending color, we send an object of home state, right? So this is actually what we are trying to achieve here. So that means here we don't send color, but we send, let's say later on we are going to redefine our constructor. Let's say we define this as state and the letter. We are going to write this later. So that means here for the color from the state, instead of using color, here we use state, which is, this is actually to link to the home state object, okay, because home state object hold the value of color. Okay, then here we do the same. Okay, now we can solve this problem, because we want to use color from the state. So what we receive in this function is state, okay, correct? And then inside the function we have color. That's it, right? Okay, so I hope you don't get confused regarding here. Even though we are declaring state as a final, that means it's supposed to be immutable. Okay, so I hope you can recall from our Dart programming language, if state is a Scala, of course you cannot do something like this. Okay, if state, you cannot do something like you cannot simply change something. Okay, this is if you are trying to do something like state, maybe a new state. Okay, maybe you want to create home state 2, right? So because the one that final is the state itself, okay? Meaning that you don't change, you don't reassign state to another because state is a pointer, okay? An object in that is a pointer. So if you do something like that, means state will be changing to be pointing to another else. But if we do something like this, okay, we don't change state. State remains pointing to the same object, but what we change only the content of the state. So this is the reason why we use final. Okay, you specify the pointing only once, but you can actually update the content of the pointer. Okay, if you got confused regarding this, I hope you can recall, I can refer back to lecture slide regarding that language. Okay, now this is supposed to be the final thing that we need to do here, here. So let's try this out. Oh, by the way, I forgot, because we have changed here into something else. Just now it was color, now we change to state. Okay, so how to change state? You know that we want to specify state is the home state, right? Okay, currently we are home state, so we want to set object. Okay, I hope you can recall from PT2. If you want to refer to an object that you are currently working on, like here, we are actually doing the code inside the class. So the object that we are currently working on is basically this. Okay, I hope you can recall. So the same goes to the second one. We send this. They are passing the same object, the home state. Okay, I think I need to find where is my emulator. Where is it? Okay, is it here? Okay. Okay, now let's compile this again, and then test out whether now the button is working. So let's try this out. By the way, I tried this first, which is the slider. Why it doesn't change? Okay, it takes some time. Okay, right now, as you can see, the buttons are working. So to recap, when you want to pass data, scalar data, okay, like integer, a string, okay, to functions, okay, and then you want to get value, in other words, you want to pass by reference, because that doesn't support passing by reference for Scala. The workaround is basically by wrapping the data or the variables you want to pass to the function in an object. Okay, this works in Dart, because Dart by default, when you create an object, it is always a pointer. Okay, I think we can wrap up for this demo. It took a long of time to complete this. Yeah, I think that's all for this demo. Okay, goodbye.